Hello movie watchers, welcome to Indie Movie Guide. Today's movie is The Motel, and it's one of those films you probably have little to no chance of knowing about, especially now, almost 20 years after its release, especially with a title like that. So I discovered it pretty much randomly, just browsing around and looking for something interesting to watch. The Motel is an adaptation of a novel, and for an independent movie, I would say that's a good sign, and something tells me that it has some of the autobiographical elements there. Not so long time ago on this channel we had an example of how movie adaptations of life can go wrong with Potato Dreams of America, partially because it's based on a book, and the story itself does not try to cover a big portion of someone's life, just about a week or two. It works great. Throughout the story, we're going to follow Ernest, who works at the motel that belongs to his family in the middle of nowhere. And I mean that literally, because there is no town present, not even a small town. It's just a motel and a highway. This setup and a timeline gives us a pretty contained story, which means a lot of focus on the characters. And as you noticed, I love that, especially when it's done well. Ernest is a teenager, he's creative, sensitive and shy, but at the same time, well, he's a teenage boy, so gross. A lot of time. In other words, pretty authentic. And we can easily sympathize with this guy. Throughout the movie, we're going to explore his relationship with his family, the girl he likes, the local bully, and one of the motel guests who, in a lot of ways, represents teenage angst that Ernest is obviously dealing with. Of course, to make the movie like this work, there are two major components: dialogues and acting. Acting was my main concern before I started to watch it. Since it's centered around a teenager, of course we're going to have a teenage actor in an independent film, so you would not expect the best adolescent actor at the time. But hats off to Jeffrey Chow, who's absolutely killing this role, in a good way. And I even googled him, because I was curious about what he did after that. Unfortunately, it seemed like his career did not take off big time. And that's a shame. Well, he's not old and clearly talented, so who knows? The rest of the cast is awesome as well. There is one small scene where we have teenagers outside of the main cast, and oh boy, seems like they found those guys literally in the nearest mall, because they are terrible. In between three of them, they have maybe 5 or 6 lines of dialogue, deliver them badly, and disappear. I'm telling you this not to discourage you from watching the movie, on the opposite, their terrible acting just highlights how good everyone else is. And this movie demands quite a lot of subtle acting, because it strikes a good balance between comedy and drama, like in real life. And if you guys are really into character-driven stories, I 100% recommend The Motel. Let me know in the comments if you liked it. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel not to miss our next independent hidden gem, accessible for free. That's all for today, see you next time.